very few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, guys, our topic today is respiration. Like you can see, the definition of respiration, it is the process by which energy is generated from the breaking down of carbohydrates in living cells. Now, whenever you explain respiration, you should always make sure that you include this word, living cells. The reason being that respiration does not happen in any organisms. It should happen in living cells. Now, we are saying we have respiration. When we talk about respiration, we normally, make it equivalent to the process of photosynthesis. So we are saying respiration is the reverse of photosynthesis in other way. Now, in respiration, we have two types of respiration. We have the aerobic respiration and the anaerobic respiration. Now, in aerobic respiration, we are saying this is the release of large amounts of energy from breaking down the carbohydrates in the presence of oxygen. Now, when it comes to aerobic respiration, we are saying oxygen is like a requirement for for respiration to take place. For example, the point here that you are making is that any reaction of respiration that is taking place, there should be the presence of oxygen. Whenever a patient comes to you and asks you that the reaction has been happening in a air-free environment, it means there is no oxygen. The word air-free means that oxygen was removed. So they should let you know that the reaction is happening in abundance supply of oxygen, or in the presence of oxygen. So you know that they are not talking about any other kind of respiration, but it's aerobic respiration. Now, aerobic respiration takes place only in living cells. For example, where you have glucose plus oxygen in the presence of an enzyme, and then you produce carbon dioxide plus water. This is the normal respiration that we know. This is the the standard equation for respiration. And then we move on to the other side. We are saying we have anaerobic respiration. In this time around, this is the release of fairly small amounts. Energy is not released in large amounts here. Is released in small amounts. Now we are saying this is the breaking down of carbohydrates in the absence of oxygen. Now we are saying oxygen is produced in an air-free environment. So we are saying, for example, we have glucose here, an enzyme. Let's say this is fermentation. We can say it's fermentation, or we include yeast. Now we are saying, for example, we have let me take this example. The first one, when you are exercising. Now we are saying the level of oxygen is going to decrease, because we are saying when you start exercise, what is going to increase? There is going to be an increase in heartbeat. That's number one. Now, number two, there's going to be there's going to be the boosting of glucose and oxygen to the working muscles and the brain cells. So, which means more oxygen is going to be used up. So, when more oxygen is being used up, which means the body is going to lack oxygen, because more oxygen is being directed to the muscles. So, when more oxygen is being used up, what does that mean? It means there's going to be lack of oxygen. So we are saying the body is going to respond to that by releasing an acid which is called lactic acid. Now, lactic acid is going to be reduced into oxygen. Now, you should know that this lactic acid is a dangerous and even a poisonous acid. So we are saying what is going to happen now. it is going to be instantly reduced. Immediately when it's produced, it's going to be instantly reduced. Now, after it has been reduced, what is going to happen? After it is being reduced, we are saying it is going to be converted back to produce small amounts of oxygen. So that is what you call oxygen debt, meaning that we are repaying the oxygen that has been lost. And then that is actually that is an example that you can take under anaerobic respiration. And then let's compare between anaerobic respiration and the aerobic respiration. We are saying in aerobic respiration, the respiration or the reaction is taking place in the presence of oxygen. There is oxygen is needed for aerobic respiration to take place. But now when it comes to anaerobic, the reaction is taking place in the absence of oxygen. And then when you look at the aerobic respiration, it is taking place in the mitochondrion. Now, the mitochondria, like we said, the mitochondria is responsible or is a site for releasing or formation of energy. And then this one, the anaerobic respiration, especially in plants, it is going to take place in the cytoplasm matrix, not in the cytoplasm, but the cytoplasm matrix. And then we are saying aerobic respiration, we release large amounts of energy because of the presence of oxygen. And then this side we release small amounts because we are saying there is no oxygen. We are trying to produce oxygen. We are repaying oxygen there. And then when it's aerobic, we are saying we are going to release carbon dioxide and water are going to be our products. But when it's anaerobic, we can have ethanol also being produced. We can either have lactic acid being produced. So either way, it's whether it's in plants or either in animals. So that, I think that is that. You can ask questions if you have one.
Mr. Shumba.
Yes.
Can you please explain honoric acid, about the lactic acid in anaerobic respiration? What happens? You said something about oxygen deficit.
Hey, okay, let me repeat that part.
Six minutes.
Okay. Okay, if I get your question, the question is, how is lactic acid produced in the body? We are saying when lactic acid is produced when you are exercising. Now that is anaerobic respiration in general. We are saying what is happening here is this. We are saying the lactic acid is going to be produced immediately when there is lack of oxygen. So how does this process take place? Now, we are saying during exercise, what is going to happen? Number one, we are saying during an exercise, the heartbeat is going to increase. When the heartbeat increases, what does that show you? It shows you that a lot of oxygen is being lost, like it's being used up. So, how is there a lot of oxygen being used up? We are saying during exercise, more oxygenated blood flows to the muscles and the brain cells. So now we are saying if more oxygen has been used, we need to repay that oxygen. For that oxygen to be repaid back, we are saying lactic acid is going to be produced, and we should know that lactic acid is a poisonous acid. So it is going to be immediately or instantly being reduced to oxygen. Immediately after it has been produced, it's going to be reduced into oxygen. Now we are saying that process, it is called paying back the oxygen debt. So we are saying there is oxygen that has been used up is going to be repaid back by the conversion of lactic acid to oxygen. That is what is happening in muscles. You are taking back the oxygen that has been used up. You are taking it back, like you are repaying it. So that is what is happening in general. Hey, Michelle.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm right.
Thank you for asking.
Baba Renhwa Kata, it's not our network. Kidi network it's Alnago. We use one of the best internet in Botswana. Thank you.
Okay, now this is your assignment. You should write it.
Didi malan terjadi assignment deh. Tentu yang awal rengu sabona ni. Chateveni. Wari mana sabona ni tebe.
Toka kele remove. I'll take a picture of this assignment and send it to your WhatsApp group.
Sorry, Natasha tira kwa.
7, mute your thing, please.
Forget.
2 minutes left.
Okay, I think that's where we are going to stop with respiration. Now, in general, you have an assignment there. You go and explain anaerobic respiration in fermentation. So, fermentation is an example of respiration or anaerobic respiration. So, you are going to explain these concept of fermentation. You know,
How many marks?
yeah,
3.
3 or so. It's okay. And then explain how lactic acid is reduced to oxygen during exercise. I want to hear more based on that. As I explained, so I expect you to go and find more based on how lactic acid is removed in the body. So how do we remove the lactic acid? And then you give 4 uses of respiration in the body, and then that's all about the assignment. But in general, respiration is a very simple topic. Like you were saying, is the breaking down of carbohydrates, to release energy. And then we talked about the 2 types of respiration. That we have aerobic respiration, which happens in the presence of oxygen, and then we have anaerobic respiration, which happens in the absence of oxygen. And then you should know, whenever they give you a question related to respiration, make sure that you check whether the reaction is happening in an air-free environment or in an environment where air is circulating. That is very, very important for you to differentiate between the two. Thank you.
Time out.